Hey, silver tubers, it's Mr. Zeke coming to you from the silver pouring bench. I had an idea tonight. I thought I might actually do a little bit of silver pouring, and I had this cast iron mold. Those of you who've been with me for a while know that I got a couple of cast iron molds a while ago, and I poured a smaller one. This is the larger one, so I'm going to try and pour a 10-ounce pour into this. I went ahead and stripped the shipping paint off of it and seasoned it last night with Pam. So I'm warming it up now, and I've got the silver warming up in the tabletop furnace here right next to it. So we'll be back as soon as everything is ready to go. Alright, I think I'm ready. I've got a little over 10 ounces in the crucible. I'm going to put this under the torch so we get a little bit of oxygen burn off. Ooh, that mold is hot. Oh, oh. Shut the torch off. I'm going to need the torch because I like to have a little bit of oxygen burn off. I just sprayed some Pam in there. Note to self, do not spray Pam into the mold while the torch is on the mold. You get quite an exciting little, I don't want that much flame. You get quite an exciting little adventure. I guess the aerosol is somewhat flammable. I'm gonna pour this in from the side. So, and this is the large crucible. So I'm gonna zoom in because I want to see what this looks like going into this mold. Like I said, I've only ever done cast iron one other time, and so that's probably a little bit too much flame. I'd probably like to have a little bit less flame. I'd like to avoid that yellow. I'd like to avoid the little yellow bits at the tip of the flame because they tend to gnarl up the final product. So let's see what we've got here. Check inside the... Yep, we've got about 10.5 ounces of silver in the crucible, so here we go. No idea what I'm doing. Pouring into cast iron. That's 10.5 ounces. I'm going to get just a little movement here. I don't want a lot. It's amazing how 10.5 ounces, that's a kilo mold. So we'll go ahead and kill the flame. The edges are staying nice and yellow. The edges are staying really hot. So not sure if I want to dump it yet or let it cool in the mold. I say we go ahead and dump it, but I don't like dumping a fresh pour onto these bricks, so I'm going to dump it onto this piece of graphite here if I can. It may. There it is. Oh man, I dig the color. I dig the pre-tumbled color. It's got a good grip on it. It's got, I'm going to zoom the camera out from the Pam. It gave it a sort of a blackened color. So let's quench this piece and have a look and see what 10.5 ounces looks like. Oh, Betty, that is warm. That is one warm piece of silver. She is not playing about. I bet that mold is hot too. That cast iron, whew, that stuff gets hot. Hot, hot, hot. I want to make sure this gets nice and cool before I start handling it. My dunk tank was a little bit low. So here's what we came out with. Pre-tumble and pre-polish. Your typical cooling lines. But I think it's going to clean up nice. The sides have that sort of speckled finish, or not speckled, that cast iron texture to them. The bottom came out really nice. I'm going to throw this in the tumbler for just a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll have a peek at the finished product, including a weigh-in. See where we came out on this. So everybody hang tight. We'll be back in a bit. And here's the conclusion of the cast iron 10-ounce bar. You can see you get the cast iron look on the edges. And it poured the exact amount I put in the crucible, 10.522 ounces Troy. It's got a little flat spot right here where I wanted that to come out so it was legible, but the rest of it's got that cast iron texture to it. It's interesting, it's only the second bar I've poured into cast iron. The first bar was smaller. This is a larger bar, and this is one tumble and one Flitz, hand rub of Flitz on it, and it definitely has a deep stamp. I reheated the center after it was done and stamped it warm, so I got a lot of detail on that tree. So let me know what you think. I kind of dig the cast iron. I'd like to fill that thing. That it didn't fill it, didn't come close to filling it. I bet that thing would hold 25 ounces. So anyway, I appreciate everybody hanging out and watching, and I will catch everybody next time. Mr. Zeke coming to you from the Silver Pouring Bench. Cheers.